Next up on the Run That Back podcast, we got that group from H-Town. And the group is H-Town. What album? Fever for the Flavor. Next up on the Run That Back podcast. Let's get it. Yo, what's poppin'? This your man Scorpio Moe and
C.Boogie.
And this is the Run That Back podcast. And today, we have probably one of the most underrated groups from the 90s. R&B groups. Let's be real clear with that. From the 90s. Sort of, kind of. Those that know. But, coming out of Texas, Houston to be exact, and that group is H-Town. What album?
Fever for the Flavor.
Fever for the Flavor. That's right. That's how you know it's 90s, because it's a flavor. Like, you can't use that in no other decade but the 90s.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
H-Town, made up of Dino, Shazam, and G.I. R.I.P. Dino, who was tragically lost in a car accident with his girlfriend.
Him and his girlfriend.
A few years back. But shout out to G.I. and Shazam for continuing to keep the name alive.
Do we know the other third guy? Or is there a third guy? Do we know?
No, it's just the two of them now. It was Dino, Shazam, and G.I.
But at one point, they had a brother in there, right?
His brother. They were twins, twin brothers.
No. There was a third member, the guy that replaced Dino.
I don't recall anybody Dino.
I thought they did, but maybe they don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so
signed to.
Well, this album was put out by Luke's label. This is the album that dropped on Luke's label. It was the only album from
Luke Records / Atlantic, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. This album was released in 1993, and I'm just going to give you a quick climate of 1993. Movies: Jurassic Park, Groundhog Day, Nightmare Before Christmas. Music: biggest songs of 1993: Whitney Houston's "I Will Always Love You," "Whoop, There It Is" by Tag Team, "That's the Way Love Goes"
Poetic Justice, Tupac's "I Get Around."
Oh, that is correct.
That was all 90. I remember clearly.
"That's the Way Love Goes" by Janet Jackson. "Freak Me" by Silk.
We're gonna get into that because there's a you see what I'm going. I took notes.
I'm glad you did. We can compare notes. Notable albums: Music Box by Mariah Carey, The Bodyguard soundtrack, and Doggy Style was released in 1993. Finally, grunge had a breakout year in 1993. Hip hop fashion took place. As far as technology, the World Wide Web. Other than that, we are going to get into Fever for the Flavor. When was your introduction to H-Town?
The funny thing is, I had just left Atlanta around almost spring breakish time, and I was up north for a minute, got stuck in the snowstorm, and then I realized Atlanta had froze over. And during that time, I'm assuming it was Video Soul, and the Knocking Boots record came on, and I was like, oh, this is, just even the title, the guts to even call it that at that time. You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, no, they weren't trying to hide anything. They've used the latest. The term might have got played out, but they kind of revamped it a little bit. But yeah, that was it. That was my introduction. Maybe March '93-ish, around that pocket. Yeah. Around. So I just remember seeing the video and it being cold and seeing it at my grandmother's house, and I was like, "Ooh, this sounds right." I ain't gonna hold you. That was mine. When was your introduction?
My introduction was the same. Knocking the Boots. My first time. I can't remember if I
Did you know that was
saw the video first or
the
heard it on
name
the
of
radio.
the nickname for Houston? At that time, I didn't know.
Oh, H-Town? No,
Yeah.
I did not know.
I did not know.
I just
We all know that now, but
Yeah,
back
we know
then
that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, didn't know that at all. But yeah, I don't remember if I saw the video first or heard the record because we were down here. Can't remember if it was on V103 or
But
not.
you know what was going through my head though at the same time?
What?
It was the Who's the Man soundtrack. So at the time I'm listening to that, I'm listening to different Jodeci, Let's Go Through the Motions. Which is one of my, I love that record. That was the first up tempo I liked. So when I heard that and then I'm hearing this, I'm like, oh, some other guys I might. This is dope. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, no, that was it. Like I said, can't remember if it was the video or the song first on V103. But real quickly, the album was recorded in it was released in 93, recorded in between 92 and 93.
Right.
It was on Luke's label. They only had one producer whose name was Stick. Bishop Stick Burrell was the producer. The three of them handled songwriting responsibilities along with the producer as well. And because of you stating that when you heard Knock in the Boots, you were right. It was the first single, and it was released March 11th, 19.
I'm just trying to tell you what I know times, man. It's just like, cause I got up home left Atlanta and was only supposed to go up there for 2 weeks or a week. I can't remember what it was, and I got snowed in my first day. It snowed bad, and then I was like, man, I should have stayed in Atlanta. I clicked on CNN. Atlanta was frozen. I was like, what?
Yeah, that is correct. So real quickly about the album peaked at number 16 on the Billboard 200. It topped the R&B albums chart. It achieved gold status on June 14th of 93. It went platinum on August 18th of 1993. Yes.
Okay, good for the brothers, man. I didn't know.
The album's lead single, Knock in the Boots, made it to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Ooh.
So yeah, this was a monster song by the group. What was your take on Knock in the Boots?
Brilliant, man. Just the way it comes on. Like, it just, yo. And then Dino's voice, man, let's be clear. Like, you know, I mean, you could do the KC comparisons from Jodeci, but Dino's was a little different. Let me just say that.
It was smoother.
It was smoother.
It was rough, but it was smooth.
He had I don't know if it was a Texas thing or something. He had something else going on with his voice that made it a little bit more, like you said, smoother than KC's. KC had that rough growl, but Dino's growl, it just was, whoo.
You know who Dino sounded like?
No.
Sid.
Yeah. Okay, now you say that. No, here's the thing. Oh, but it's that thing. Like, it's that thing that Sid, I don't know if it's something that gives...
Southern drawl, baby.
No, but it's like, it's in here.
Right.
And when he sings from the stomach, but it still has to come out of your mouth, right? And when it does, it's something that comes out the right. And he has this thing at the end of his voice. It's at the end where you be like, yeah, and Sid did it. Even though... Our boy Mike, I bumped into Mike. This is kind of a story time. So, it used to be a spot in Atlanta. It's called Sweet Lounge now. But back in the 90s, it was called the Vixen. And I go to the Vixen and Mike's with his other group. And guess what song they're singing? And I see Mike sing that. Whew, kills it. Like... cause that was the first time I heard anybody attempt to sing it. And they sung it. And I was like, ooh. Because the record starts off so strong.
Yeah.
Like, it grabs you early, it puts you in the chokehold to the end of the record. Like, you hear the breakdown, oh yeah. Girl, And then they come in with that harmony.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of those records, man. If you're gonna, they grab you early, and they do not let go until the end of the record.
It's kind of like when you say it grabs you, the intro grabs you, and then it slowly releases you, and then it
Grabs you again, right?
It snatches you back.
Yeah,
up.
that's a fact. That's a fact.
So what you do?
That's a fact. Now, who wrote that? Is that they wrote that?
They wrote that.
Yo, man, like, incredible. And the beauty about the writing in that is it's self-contained. They wrote it how they felt it. I'm not too sure. I mean, I don't know who else could have gave them that, but it was enough to impress Josie. You know what I'm saying? Because you understand, this is, okay, so this is Shy. Silk is on his way. Can't stand it. Silk is on his way. Boys the Men are here.
Speaking of which,
intro is here. Like, it's a lot going on in that male R&B space.
Correct. And speaking of which, to promote the album, they went on a Coca-Cola tour that had LL, Naughty by Nature, SWV, Shy, and Silk.
Yo, see, that was the lineup, like the Budweiser Superfests. That was they don't have. Those were the Al Haymon used to do those. The Coca-Cola, like, these were the things that were happening at that time, and them lineups were serious.
Do you think that they were the first group with that style of dancing that didn't seem so quote unquote masculine? Because we were down here for about a year now when that came out.
Close to,
you know. We knew what it was,
yeah,
but the rest of the country didn't know what it was. And that was Pretty Ricky. What was your?
Nah, you're absolutely right. I think, but even when we saw it, we didn't see it from singers. We saw it from guys that had the dance teams that would do it behind R&B music. You know what I'm saying? So let's say they had the fast bass record, right?
Right.
And then they did a breakdown part, and it was the R&B with it.
Right.
Or they sped up an R&B record. Like there's a version of what is the BBD slow record?
Will I See You Smile Again?
And there's an upbeat version of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, booty bass.
Right. So they would have these medleys.
Mm-hmm.
3 minutes long pops or whatever, 2 minutes, and would jump from song to song. And through that, they'll bring a slow song and they'll break it down.
Right.
And this is where you will see those type of steps. Or even fast stuff. Right. Like you go, and from what I understand, in the marching bands, FAMU, they would do stuff like that to HBCUs in the South.
Right.
But never on a straight R&B performance. You know, that the artists themselves did it,
and on a national level.
So so you got the HBCUs in Texas and so on. So like they were, but for it to be in the masses and it be the actual artists themselves, not rappers, but and not dance teams. You know, you're 1,000% right. And it was it because they did a little shuffle thing with their feet and did the pump and doing all that that you. It was a time, it was interesting to see. If you came down here for Freaknik, I'm pretty sure you saw it in the 90s. Or if you've been in Atlanta, you know, the geek dances that they did in the 90s. This was all in relation to the same thing. It was to go to a party and see a dudes break out with this. Yeah. And he'd be like, geek. And it's a lot of pop, pause, step dancing, the hip, thrusting, herky jerky, and then it would even break down to slow. It was interesting enough because in those same showcases, we would see Monica, or super young Monica. You know, we would see like a lot of people that you see now that are superstars at these same showcases or being introduced for the first time. And that was Atlanta at the time. So he's 1,000% right. But they were the first artists to ever step out there and do it, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, Knockin' the Boots was a huge song. The next single, released on July 14th of 1993, was Lick You Up. How did you feel about Lick You
I
Up?
got some more some Lick You Up. Because, okay, here's the problem. It's no problem. I didn't mind Lick You Up, but here's the thing. It's a Keith Sweat record. It's How Deep Is Your Love? That's all it is.
It's a cheap knockoff.
It's a knockoff of. I was like, I know what this is.
Yeah. I was in my notes like, and I gave this a mid rating only because I was like, it's a knockoff.
If you didn't, song. Yeah, that's the problem. It's not like they took a song that was like nobody really listened to or was like an album filler.
You took a slow jam tape.
You took one of them ones and tried to pass it off. And nah, buddy, I like it. Don't get me wrong.
It's
but
cool.
I know what that is. and it's a little Silkish too. Silk, it's either I felt like Silk could have did that and pulled that off as well, or Silk has a similar record that's a knockoff to How Deep Is Your Love. But I felt Silk first, and I was like, nah, this is Keith Sweat.
I felt Keith Sweat the whole way.
No, but vocally, just because I'm hearing the aggression in Dino's voice, it made me think of Lil G. But sound music wise, it's Sweat.
Music wise, it's Sweat.
But vocally, it sound. I heard Silk more than I heard H-Town.
I didn't even hear Silk because, like I said, Dino, you can never question his vocals.
Oh no, 1,000%.
But it's his brother or GI, whoever comes in, where I'm just like, the song falls way off more after that. So I was like,
it does.
I wipe my hands clean of that.
It does. I ain't gonna hold it. I hated to do it. Like if I've never heard the Keith Sweat record.
Now, if
that's the thing, because it's not a bad record. It only comes off bad because people from a certain genre, we know what that record exactly is.
We know what that sound is. We know what that song
and to
does.
me, if you really wanted to bridge that gap, you would have paid more homage to Keith and used the Keith, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Kind of like they did in another record in here, and we'll get to that, as they did the Gap Band record over, kind of. If you would have did more of that to How Deep Is, to Lick You Up, I would have gave you credit. You know what I'm saying? Like when, what's the name, Jodeci does Do Me Baby? On one of the songs, and they do that.
Yeah.
And no. There's a song where they have the Do Me Baby reference. Take just for a split second.
Gotcha.
And I was like, and you know that's what they're trying to do, pay high. But this was like, I can't really give you that. I hate that. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. The third single release, November 9th of 1993, was Keeping My Composure. Now, I can't front. I like this song a lot. To me, it feels like it's a good riding song. Like you put that in, and it's just if you had a convertible top back, you just strolling through. Like that's what that song is.
It really, really does. I actually like the song. I like the song a lot.
Yeah.
But it's probably the last song that the reference take me to ecstasy. Take me to ecstasy was you tried to slip it past me. I saw it.
I was going to say there was an ecstasy reference.
Yes, I damn sure was. I made
wasn't going to let that slide.
I was like, I saw what you did there. I saw what you did there. I let it go, but
you messed up, son. Yeah, but that was a very good song.
It was.
The last single from the album's campaign, released February 21st of 1994, was Baby I Wanna. Now, this song I thoroughly enjoyed this song. It was Dino went crazy on this song. This was if there was a good merge between it has so many things. It has it has an 80s feel. It has a 90s feel. It's a good amalgamation of all of that. And that was a very, very good song.
This is a test of his vocal range. His vocal ability. Like, if you don't hear any other song, I mean, it's a few songs. This guy was a problem. Dino, lead singer wise, was probably one of the best leads. I would even go so far as if they weren't in the situation they were in, it would have been maybe. I was so many juggernauts though, man, from Jodeci to Drew Hill to Silk. Like these guys, the R&B wise, man, you got to give it to the 90s. The male groups didn't play, man. They really came to put it. A lot of them really put in that work, and the lead singer holds a lot of that weight. It's like the quarterback, right? And just the way he distributes the vocals, like, and every day they come in and it's the smooth against the Dino and what is it, Shazam?
Mm-hmm.
You know, their trade off, and then GI, like, come on, man.
I like I said, I'm surprised that Dino. I'm surprised he wasn't poached, to be honest with you, because the way that the music business and industry was, I'm surprised somebody wasn't in his ear like, yo,
eventually
you can you don't need this, which is more of a, if somebody was in his ear, is a good testament to him, because him staying down.
But at that time, it was still a group thing, but it wound up coming at. But then he, you know, if you know the history before his passing, he wound up going through some other stuff and getting on a different plane. I think the music business really left a bad taste in his mouth.
Yeah.
And he started getting on a different plane with the music. He got away from this type of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is sad, because he was such a great talent. But go ahead.
Yeah. But I definitely think that he could have been poached, but it's a test of his character that he wasn't.
Right.
So now we are going to get into the track list of the rest of the album. First, the introduction. Trash.
This somebody was just like, listen to this, and I never heard Knockin' the Boots. I would have heard that and be like, I'm good. I would have never heard anything else. That was the worst album intro ever. Like, because first of all, for an R&B group, like, what are you doing? I was like, hell no. Like,
H-Town in the house, y'all.
I was like, you about to F this all up.
Yeah, I kind of put that on the producer's head of letting everybody hear a trash introduction to the group. Yeah, because you're right. If it was a 2-song demo and that was the intro, you'd be like, nope.
Never would have made it to song number 2.
Don't even want to hear it. The next song, Can't Fade the H. Trash to me.
See, here we go again. This is what I'm saying. Here we go again. Like, this is 2 in a row. I was like, oh man, this is not. The only thing that's getting me to hold on to this point is because of Knockin' the Boots. That's what I'm saying. You got 2 stinkers in a row, man. The intro and Can't Fade the H.
Yeah. The third song. Now this is where the album starts to pick up.
They redeemed themselves.
A song called Treat You Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now I thought this was guy influenced, honestly.
Oh, 1,000%.
I got a guy influence. It also gave me Eddie F and the Untouchables type of vibe with the bass sound,
the jumpy bass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I definitely thought it was a good song that they wrote. Like I said, I thought it was heavy guy influence. What was your take on it?
No, same thing. I like the Eddie F reference, because that's what it reminded me of. What is it? The floating bass? How's that go? It's this real. What is that, man? I know the sound.
Right.
I know the sound.
If you've heard Heavy D's music, intro.
Right. Right.
It's that same type
Let
of
me
bass
be
sound.
that beginning of the yeah. It's a floaty, it's a keyboard bass, and it's just real bouncy.
Right. Kind of in the pocket, but
yeah,
you don't know. The next song, Fever for the Flavor. Now, again, not a bad song at all. Not to mention there is a guest verse from a JT Money on that track, which honestly didn't make me know never mind, because I thought it was a good song. Yeah. Either way, what was your take on
that? Same thing. And I always like JT Money. Poison Clan member, went solo. Yeah. That like it was a good setup for him for his solo career and to be on some R&B stuff. I wasn't mad at it. Yeah. It wasn't necessary, but I wasn't mad at it.
Okay. The next song, Sex Me. Trash. Another guy influenced record, but trash. And the reason I say it was guy influenced, very, very New Jack swingish, or attempting to be, with the sample of the sex me. It's just the constant somebody on the sampler just going fucking crazy.
It sounded dated. You probably it would have worked better in '88. Maybe it was dated. It was dated. Maybe '89. It was dated. That was my problem with it. It was dated.
The next song, H-Town Bounce, trash.
Once again.
So we're down here in the valley.
See, that's the reason why I'm like y'all had to like. I don't know if this came from Jodeci or whatever. They were trying to push this hip hop thing, or either at least with these titles and be cool, but it didn't sound like it was a representation of now what the South would do. I think they tried it, but it's not.
You know what I think this is? I think we've had the discussion on a previous episode how we said the church. The slow songs represented the church and a certain yearning, a desire for something. But when it came to the up tempos, they were sorely lacking.
You didn't need to be in the church. You need to be in the street.
You need to be in the club, in the street.
Right. And I think that's a great point. So that's the yeah. And I think that's what helped Guy out. Because Aaron had the church. He's from the church. But Guy and but with Teddy and Tim's being in the street, on that street sound, and Teddy working with rappers, I think that's what helped Guy. And I think that's what they needed here. I just don't think they had that other side well. And that's not on them because they didn't produce. They did write it. Yeah. But I think they needed a little A&R on this album. I can't lie. And to have a rap label do it is not. It hurt them. On certain records.
Right. And I think, as we said before in the previous episode, rap labels trying to do R&B, that was always the misstep with R&B groups. So it's like if you were an R&B group and a rap label wanted to sign you, yeah, you got signed, but could they fully encapsulate and execute the vision fully outside of what you were trying to do outside of slow songs or whatever. The next song is it's just titled Interlude, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Again, gospelish, didn't hate it.
I would say this, very Jodeci influenced. I don't think if there was a Jodeci, they wouldn't have done it. I don't think if it was, you wouldn't have heard it like this. Right. I think they tried to put their twist, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not a shot to them, because I think everybody was like, "Oh, we could do that in R&B." Yeah. And I think everybody was trying their hand at it, so I'm not mad at that. But very Jodeci sounding.
The next song we already discussed, "Lick You Up." Of course, after that, "Knocking the Boots," classic. Classic. Now the next song, "Won't You Come Back?"
And here we go with that. And at first, I was like, okay, are they... This was conscious. This was intentional. And at first, I was like, are they? And then I was like, yeah, they are. At first, they were tricking me. I was like, where is this from? I couldn't put my hand on it. No, Gap Band. There you go. There you go.
I got quite a few groups with this. Of course, with the melody, you got the Gap Band, but then it also gave me a Mint Condition type of sound. It also gave me a Levert type of vibe as well, just because of it didn't sound like your normal drum machine
I can hear Levert.
synthesizer produced. It kind of gave me like a live band type of feel. That's why I was like Levertish, Mint Condition, because at first I was like, maybe Alexander O'Neal, which a critic said that too, but I was like, no. Now I think about it, I was like, it's definitely, as you stated.
So if that's the case, then we talk about more of a Jam and Lewis production.
Well, yeah, because they produced him, but I'm thinking when I say Mint Condition, it was more along the lines of Mint Condition because they were a band.
Right, and that's why I'd say.
And they played.
Okay.
But although they were produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, it was.
They just kind of oversaw.
Yeah, they oversaw. They didn't actually.
Right.
You know, so like that's why I say the band. It gave me a band feel, like Mint Condition, Levertish type of thing. So that was the vibe I got. To. Like I said, I gave it a mid rating. It wasn't good.
Yeah,
it wasn't trash.
Yeah.
It was like if it's on, it's like I'll let it finish playing. I ain't going, press or whatever. But that's it. And then the final song on the album was "Baby I Wanna," which we already discussed and gave it a good rating. But to round out the album actually went platinum.
Knocking the Boots definitely.
Oh, definitely. Knocking the Boots, because that went number 3 on the Billboard Top 200. Lick You Up actually made it to the number 67. The other song, Keeping My Composure, did not chart on the pop charts, but it was number 46 on the R&B chart. Again, like I said, stated they went platinum. The album actually went number 1 on the Billboard R&B hip hop charts and number 16 on the Billboard Top 200. So they had their shot. They had their chance. And like I said, 1 million people heard it went platinum. So it was like,
but you gotta understand, they're in the middle of a label war. They couldn't really promote it like they want to. I don't know if you ever remember them going on BET and like having their mouth taped up, and they did this thing, and Luke, they wound up going straight to Atlantic, and by the time it went over there, I mean, they got a couple stuff done. They got on the soundtrack of Above the Rim, but I just think in the middle of campaigning the album, which still did good, especially for a first-time act, but at the same time, I think it hurt them, and I don't think their spirit was the same ever again.
Yeah. Not to mention, they went platinum in a time where Jodeci's on their second album.
Yeah.
Boyz II Men is on their second. So they're like,
but you gotta remember, this is End of the Road has come out.
Oh yeah.
Like, but people are invested in opening to groups.
Right.
Because they're still signing. There's still a few groups that came after.
Yeah,
a few Real Men and
Shy.
Yeah, and that did numbers.
Yeah.
But I just think they didn't really get their shot. Like if they want Bad Boy, they'd been out of here. They needed somebody with more boots to the ground. Once you get to the Atlantic, the boots are not to the ground anymore. They, you need your CEO or A&R to be like that dude out there. And that's the gap between Luke, Atlantic, and then it's just them, and they're from Texas. Yeah. Texas wasn't on nobody's R&B map.
Right.
So maybe if he was here, maybe under Jermaine Dupri, this would have been pre-Jagged Edge. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that got it, and they'd be like, oh, I know where this could go.
Right.
And they didn't have that. Somebody with a bullhorn bringing attention to these guys who are super, super dope. and more importantly, self-contained as far as writing is concerned.
Right. Now, do you think Knocking the Boots was overwhelmingly such a huge song that they could not recover?
Yeah and no. Maybe not recover on that album, but could they, and you might be chasing that for your whole career. But I believe with the right writing, and they could have did it. I have faith enough that they could have done it. But I think with Atlantic, I don't know if that was the goal. I mean, because when you got a record that big on your first time out, like usually you want the big record on your second or third single. You got a couple singles under your belt that do okay and people know.
Yeah, you want like a slow grind.
But when it's the first single, you'll be chasing that until you get another one, and it's hard to get another one. Who would have thought? You'll play every freaking day, freaking you. And come and talk to me. You get a hit off every album. Hell, the second album has the least amount of hits from Jodeci.
Cry for
Fiending You, Cry for You. Give me another one.
Is it Love You for Life?
Hit, not just single, hit.
Oh, hit, Cry for You, Fiending.
See what I'm saying? I'm not saying they ain't got good records we love and we'll just play on ourselves that we love. But what I'm saying is, and then they turn around on the third album and they do get a come into. You see what I'm saying? So it's tough, man, because think about it. Their first, Forever My Lady, the first single, the upbeat one, then it didn't hit until Come and Talk. You see what I'm saying? Forever My Lady, cool, but it wasn't but Come and Talk to Me remix, so it builds. But imagine if Stay was their first, because it still was an art. They didn't have a pop hit yet.
Right.
So there's still this next level. It's like Meek Mills will always be chasing
Dreams and Nightmares
until you get another one. To the point you'll get tired of, and you got to end with that. That's how you know. If you stop ending with that, and you can put that in the middle of your show, and you get another hit that you can put on your end. If not, if you do that, where else you gonna go? You got to do it last.
You become a festival.
Yes. Imagine it's the gift and the curse. You want the big record, but it's the first one. Chasing that your whole career.
Yeah, because I was sitting there thinking, like, who chases, like, oh, yeah.
It's the gift and the curse, man. It's tough. You want one, but when you get it that early, it's like, fuck, man.
So you think Genuine was always chasing Pony?
You gotta do it last.
This is true.
You got to.
Freak Me, Silk. You gotta do that last.
But the underground hit is not free. It's
Lose
Lose Control.
Right.
That's why they didn't never make it a single.
Right.
Because you gotta sell that out.
Right.
They told me that personally. Right. So I was like,
yeah.
I was like, how come he was like, man, we got it. I was like, oh, that's when I learned that. I was like, it makes sense. Yeah. It makes sense. Yeah, man. So it's tough, man. I think you be constantly chasing that. It's the gift and the curse. Like I said, you get that record, and everybody wants one. I don't think you want it that early. At least have some moderate hits in between, and then you can do your catalog and then save it. But when it's on your first album, dog, whatever, nigga.
All right. That was the album. So when we come back, we will have our pros, cons, and conclusions.
You know.
Okay, folks. We are now back with the pros, cons, and conclusions to H-Town's Fever for the Flavor, their debut album. Mo, what are your pros?
Pros, obviously, they came out the gate swinging. A lot of the slow songs, like a lot of their other peers, are their strong points. So that's the pro. And once again, they came out the gate swinging, and they're self-contained as far as writing is concerned. That's my pros for me. What's your pro?
Yeah, I would agree. Self-containment. At first, when I heard the album back in the day, I was kind of about it because I was in an R&B group, so everybody was competition. So it was kind of like, they all right, whatever. I ain't paying any attention to it. But The album, honestly, it was not bad. Out of, I think, like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Out of 12, 13 songs, half the album was pretty damn good. I can't lie. So, like I said, songwriting, the sound at the time, Dino's voice, without question. Rough but smooth.
Yeah.
Every emotion out of his voice that you could get for any song. Like it's a shame that he's no longer with us, but I mean, this album and the albums after that's a good reminder of him, serving his purpose while he was here.
Absolutely.
What were your cons?
Cons. The album starts off bumpy, a little rough. Had I not heard the first single, I wouldn't have made it past song number 2, and the first 2 songs are not good. My other con is they did imitations of other records a few times and other sounds, and they were too obvious. It was just too obvious, and I don't know if they necessarily needed to do that. I know they didn't. One of them was actually good, but I've already heard Keith Sweat do it, so it was kind of, and if Keith Sweat didn't do it, I would have, gave it a thumbs up, but I can't. It's too close. Yeah, that's it. Just that. Yours?
Yeah, the 4 songs I don't like, which are trash. As you stated, the imitations of Guy, the imitation of Keith Sweat, the imitation of Levert Mint Condition, Gap Band. It's just, don't get me wrong, I understand that you want to shout out your influences once you get a chance to do something big, but you don't want to rip them clearly off.
Yeah, it's too early. We're still trying to
get to
identify you.
Yeah.
And so it was too early to, for me to get that from them.
Yeah, I mean, and even early in the game, if you got one song that's kind of like,
we'll let you get away with it.
Yeah, we'll let you get away with it because we get it. We know you
gotta love us like that.
Yeah, you gotta draw your inspiration from somewhere, get it. But yeah, that didn't work for me. Those were my cons. Your conclusions.
I think we didn't get the full H-Town and what they could be. That sucks. We didn't. I think Dino's voice is one that if he had the chance to move forward, we would have saw some great things. I think we would have. He did release some solo projects, but his music had changed by then.
So do you think if he wasn't soured by the industry, or if they had better promotion, marketing, if their all-around overall experience was better, then...
But here's the thing. I think he works better in the group than out the group. I want to see them as a group. I think solo would have been the easier thing to do and the natural progression, but I don't think that would have been... I think we like them as the group. I think that's what made it work. To see the 3 brothers doing the steps, and when people do that, like when Coco goes and does a solo thing and it doesn't work,
that should tell you.
And one of my favorite singers, female singers, period, very distinctive voice, love her tone. It's not always the case. Sometimes they're singing 90% of the songs. But the thing that we like the overall group sense, and we know it's a group. Especially when it's males, because women can pick out which male they like. But it's this. It might not be hard because not everybody could do what Beyonce did. Not everybody could do what Diana Ross did. Not everybody could do what Mike did. Sometimes we like y'all for the group,
but also, everybody can't always do what they did, because to a certain extent, you could tell with certain groups, like
Felipe with the Spinners.
Yeah, you could tell with certain groups, you could tell with certain groups who was groomed or who was being groomed to be a solo artist. Destiny's Child, you could tell Beyonce was being groomed to be a breakout. Mike, you knew that he was going to break out. Diana Ross, you knew
you can see the
point.
superstardom in these people early. I don't know if Dino was a superstar. You see what I'm saying?
True.
So that might be that. I don't know if Coco was a superstar. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm thinking about it. Non-superstars should stay in. Felipe from Spinners tried to break off. It didn't work. He came back to the group.
But here's the thing.
Lil G tried to break. You see what I'm saying?
But see, you don't know that you're not a superstar solo until
it's
you branch off.
It's so undeniable.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is, think about like when we talk about Ralph, right?
Yeah.
His solo work didn't pop the way he thought it should because what happened? We as a generation heard him sing everything. Yeah. Coco.
Right.
We heard her sing.
So what made it the acceptance was the group. Yeah. Because why could or you say, well, you know what? I'm not going to do the sound of the group. I'm going to do something else.
Right.
And that's something else. No, we accepted you as sound of the group. So this young pop sound, but the times have changed, and sometimes the artists don't transition into those times. And I just think Ralph got caught in that. I don't know about the other ones, but Coco's, I don't really know what the thing is with her.
But she went gospel.
Solo, she did
that, and I think that might have been her downfall by going gospel with it.
Once again, but you're switching up the sound,
right?
It confuses your audience. It's not for everybody, and I just don't think and that's tough, man, because I just love her tone. She can sing her ABCs, and I just love the way it sounds. But imagine Chris Brown, the soloist, in a group, and then breaking out. It would work. Because the superstar is written, say if anybody else is me, Color Me Bad. Okay. I've been seeing clips of them. I know it's a bad reference.
That's a bad
but the guy that was leading, who's 3 times as big now, you know what I'm saying, trying to pull it off. And I don't know if it's just the visuals or whatever. It's not working. But he got 2 other guys next to him and it looked like a group. That's what I'm saying. People want the group.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that's how we swallow that pill. Is like, oh, I don't know, man. It's tough.
But I heard you mention Chris Brown. I can't imagine him in a group.
I could, if I think back how I could see him when he was young being in a group. I'll tell you who. What's the names in the group?
Lloyd?
Yeah. I wasn't gonna use Lloyd. The oh man, what's the that Mark Pitts has? Mark Pitts has. They had Chris Brown as well. Adorn.
The girl group?
No, the song.
Oh, Miguel.
Oh, Miguel was in the group.
Cool. Yeah,
he was in the group. The dude with the headline, the funny head. Neo's in the group. Y'all can see Neo's clip on
Showtime at the
Apollo, which is fucking hilarious if you ever see it. It's funny. But you see what I'm saying? It's like Neo doesn't come off as a superstar to me.
Yeah, no. I think
he got superstar numbers when he first came out and he wrote it, but superstar him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when we always have that debate about who's a superstar, you know, we need to put that on. We're gonna do that in the conversation. Who's a superstar? But we'll get into that. But that's my thing. That was my thing with that conversation.
Yeah. So
I give the album a 6.5. I'm trying to give it a 7. I can't. 6.5.
I give it a 7.
Knocking the Boots might knock it to a 7.
I give it a 7. It's tough. Because like I said, there's what, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And there's like 13 songs.
Yeah.
I said 4 were trash.
Right.
2 were mid.
Right.
And the rest were good.
No, that's
So-
a 7. That's a 7.
So that's a 7 to me.
That's a 7. Okay, I ain't mad at that. I go with that. The album could have been a real 8, 8.5. Nah, it could have been. You know, I just don't think it was A&R right, and I don't think Luke and them should have been a part. Like, they might have had a hand in messing the album up. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm not for sure.
Yeah. So with that being said, we give the album a 7.
7.
Follow us on Instagram at the Run That Back Podcast, Twitter/X at the Run That Back Pod 1, on TikTok, the Run That Back Podcast 1, on YouTube right here. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Don't be afraid to engage, ask questions, yell at us, celebrate us.
Tell us what albums you think we should do. If you got an album from
2010.
Yeah. You got a R&B, hip hop, we do it all. If you got some soul in there you want to do, we might sneak a late 70 in there. You never know.
Yeah, something that came out.
Like
in
if
80.
if they were still pumping singles out, in the 80s from 79 to 80. We'll consider it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, if it came out in 80.
If it came out in 79, but our singles were still dropping
gotcha.
in 80,
Yeah, gotcha.
then we'll consider it. I'll just put it as
earliest 79, latest 2011. That's
I like that.
That's the range. Latest, earliest, what have you.
I like that.
But in any case, thank you for joining us. We appreciate y'all for being here.
Wow.
He is
Scorpio Moe.
I am C.Boogie.
And this is
the Run That Back Podcast.
Yeah,
Bye.
Run that